Tim Collins with Cullman today. I'm down with Cullman County Attorney Chad Floyd. Mr. Floyd, thanks so much for talking to me. We're going to talk about Amendment 14, which voters are going to be looking at on Tuesday's ballot. It seems a little complex, but not really. Can you tell us your thoughts on it?
I will do my best, Tim. First of all, thanks for coming by and talking with me. I always enjoy our meetings. The County Commission actually took an action on Amendment 14 at their last meeting. They passed a resolution which stated that the County Commission was in favor of passing 14. So just for the record, I would like to put that out there and let everybody know that the County Commission is in favor of it. And now let's get to the reasons why they're in favor of it. Amendment 14 essentially attempts to shore up numerous local laws. Statewide, I believe it's been estimated to be in excess of 600 local laws that could be in jeopardy if 14 fails to pass.
Now, when you say in jeopardy, what happens? People vote no, and all these local laws have been passed for Cullman County. Other counties just disappear and go off the books and throw things into chaos. What happens?
They don't, but I think that so much has been made of Amendment 14 that I think we could reasonably anticipate litigation over our own local laws. We have a couple of local laws that are affected by this. I would say the two that come to my own mind are the Triple CDC and the Sheriff's Rodeo. A couple of those were passed during the relevant period that involves that's being addressed by Amendment 14. And let me, if I could, just back up and sort of talk about this period of time. This was essentially created in 1984 by Amendment 448 that was passed that year. Now, what happened then with Amendment 448? There was a requirement within Amendment 448 that the budget be addressed first, and no other business was going to come before either house in front of the budget. Okay, an exception was created for that under certain circumstances, and when you read the actual language within that act, that 448, it requires 3/5 of a quorum in the House to they have to pass something called a budget isolation resolution.
Now, 3/5 of a quorum sounds like a mixed drink someplace in Montgomery. Can you simplify that down for us, layman? What does that mean?
What it's going to require is 32 affirmative votes to take action on any matter other than the budget. Okay.
Gotcha.
What happened when the House actually went and adopted their version of that? The House has the actual House rules require 3/5 of the voting members. Now, practically speaking, what happens in Montgomery is a Chilton County legislator does not often vote on matters that are affecting only Cullman County. And so you may wind up with a matter that comes before the House and only 10 people vote on it. So you've got this Act 448, which requires 3/5 of a quorum, which let's just drop that. It's going to require 32 affirmative votes to pass an act in front of the budget, okay? And then what happens when the House adopts that rule, they take the 3/5, but their 3/5 language is a little bit different. It says 3/5 of the voting members. So let's say only 10 members vote in the House on this matter. You wind up with a matter that was passed by only 10 affirmative votes. So we have these matters that were passed under House rules properly, but did not conform with Amendment 448.
So what you're saying is, going back to 1984, there's 600 or so laws that are legally questionable, I think is a way to put it.
They're certainly in jeopardy.
Okay.
Like I said, I touched on a couple here locally. The act which was passed, which gave the sheriff the right to essentially create the Sheriff's Rodeo, that does a lot of good for us here on a local level. The sheriff has the rodeo. They raise a lot of money, and he gives a lot of that money back. With respect to the Triple CDC, I know it wasn't very long ago. I think they gave $50,000 to the town of West Point, or to build a track, and
and Fairview, their senior center.
Fairview, the senior center, they've given out tons of money, and as far as I know, all really worthy causes. And so, what we don't want to do, we don't want to see those organizations, which are great organizations, in jeopardy and under attack from litigation. Under attack, the very existence in litigation.
So what you're saying is if people vote yes for Amendment 14, that possibility of litigation or jeopardy it goes away. It ratifies those.
That's exactly the word I would have
600.
chosen. What it does is it ratifies every law that was passed in the last 32 years between 1984 and 2016. It ratifies every law that would be in jeopardy under what they call the Budget Isolation Resolution or the BIR.
Gotcha. And then if, on the other hand, the majority of voters vote no, then we're exposed to a smorgasbord of lawsuits, it sounds like.
That's right. You know, we're going to wake up Wednesday morning and everything is going to seem the same, and everything for a little while is going to be the same. It's not that these organizations and these laws are automatically going to be are going to be done away with, but I think it opens you up to an attack that so much of a light has been shined on these matters. Everybody is aware of it, and if it doesn't pass, I think we can anticipate on a statewide basis, not just on a Cullman County basis. I think we can anticipate litigation from different sources.
And what that litigation would do, as you said in the beginning, is put various laws that are on the books that we've all lived with for at least a little while or longer in jeopardy.
That's right. I think what it's going to do is I think it's going to require a judge to decide whether or not those laws which were passed under the Budget Isolation Resolution with a number that doesn't quite comply with that 3/5 of a quorum, that 32 affirmative votes, I think a judge is going to have to decide whether or not those laws were passed lawfully, and do they need to be stricken from the books and passed again.
That sounds like a huge mess.
I think it's got a lot of potential to turn into a mess.
Well, I think we know both sides now. Mr. Floyd, thanks so much for talking to me. You've made a murky, complex situation seem a little bit more understandable. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tim.